Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? God damn, I just drank a lot of water. There we go. That should be better. Alright, so yeah, I just put out one last time, the last episode, that was me bitching about Boogie Nights. And I thought it would be fun for me to watch another movie that I also don't like. And I want to do it because it's on Amazon Prime right now and I found it and I haven't thought about this movie in about a decade, but I really have a loathful resentment for this film. I hate that classes have been taught about this film because it subverts your expectations. Is the most campiest fucking dumb fuck shit I've ever seen. It's, I believe, like the start of this trend in filmmaking where they were letting people like Quentin Tarantino, who was like not really an industry guy, he was just a big fan of movies, make movies. And like companies like Miramax and like Touchstone, yeah, Touchstone, right? Yeah, that's, I think. Like, yeah, like all these like little indie studios were like letting people make things. Sony Picture Classics, like all these like they were making indie films basically, but they were high end indie films. And once in a while, you get like an attaché to a film, like a project that gets finished, and it just like comes out like significantly better than what it was. Case in point was that Robert Rodriguez movie, Desperado, where he basically filmed a little bit of it, and then the studio was like, "Fuck it, we're giving you the fucking money." The Weinstein stepped in and helped them get it made, and like shit like that happened back then. It was just like more of this time of like people feeling out things, and kind of like these like lesser known artists being at least acknowledged for having the ability to produce something that was widely marketable, that wasn't like a big studio film. And I think that's kind of cool about the era, but it also kind of ushered in these like weird outsiders. David Lynch was always like obviously in the like Hollywood, like he did Hollywood before it was like this it manifested into a completely different thing, both because of David Lynch, but also because of like kind of what he was around and like the weirdness of it. And I think he encapsulated that real well, just the weirdness of like not only like Hollywood but like the film making in general, in a sense. I'll do another one on David Lynch. I got a lot to say about David Lynch. I've never watched Twin Peaks, but I've watched a bunch of his movies and they're not great, but I understand where he's coming from, and knowing what a fucking psychopath he is in real life, it all makes sense. But yeah, he was real good in the 90s. He did a lot of like Wild at Heart's a really good example of that. He just makes some really fucking weird films and I like him. But yeah, this is Bryan Singer, and Bryan Singer is not my favorite director by any stretch of the fucking imagination. The Usual Suspects is the only, and I think fucking Kevin Pollak had a lot to do with this film too. I know him from Opie and Anthony. He's just fucking annoying. But he does beat up on Sam, which is Sam needs that healthy dose of like fucking reality to remind him that he's a fucking weird looking ginger afro fuck. But yeah, I don't know. Sam Roberts stinks. I don't know why I'm bashing a show that has like 60 million more fucking listeners than me. I have two, Jake and myself. Yeah, let that sink in. That's accurate. That is actually fucking accurate. But yeah, anyway. Back to The Usual Suspects. Not one of my favorite films. I thought that this was like one of those like somewhere along the lines, this guy got like he talked to the right person and got this film made, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's so fucking neat! It's so fucking cool! It's like this hyper stylized thing. It's like this perfect encapsulation of like kind of like a the '90s fucking." Like domestic kind of like indie art house look. It had everything going for it like that, and it's just like so fucking cheesy and boring, and I just could not fucking care less. If I wanted to watch a film like this, I would watch Quentin Tarantino movies because they're better. They just are better written. The characters are more relatable. If they're not relatable, they're eccentric enough where you still like them. This is just like, what the fuck? Who cares about any of these fucking people? And like, it's not poorly acted or anything, but like it's just not interesting. It's not interesting. I think fucking Benicio del Toro is the only character that I'm at all interested in, and they kill him off relatively early because like why the fuck would they keep the one dude that's interesting? Because they talk all fucking weird. Like he talks like a fucking Diaz brother. I love it though, but like they don't elaborate on him enough. I don't fucking this film is just a headache, and I am not looking forward to watching it. I will say this though, this is one of those movies that just because of like film school, like you see a lot of films, and you see a lot of films that you like required to watch for one reason or another, and then there's like films that you're required to like read for one reason or another too. Like they make you like read a script. I think the one screenwriting class we read, all of America, the screenplay or teleplays television. Yeah, screenplay. Screenplays, right? Yeah, when it's published. Fuck. Yeah, the screenplay for American Beauty. And it's another Kevin Spacey film. It's a fine film. I like it. Mina Suvari's tits are fucking magnificent. Let's give it up for Mina Suvari and her fucking fantastic tits. But yeah, we read that, and that was a fine film. Like, easy enough to digest. I did mine. I read the screenplay for Clerks. It was easy. Fucking that class was a joke. But yeah, for other classes, for other screenwriting classes, we read the teleplay for the usual, or the fucking, I keep saying teleplay, fucking screenplay for the Usual Suspects. And I was like, it's not interesting on paper, and it's somehow, for at least for me, even less interesting on fucking film. And like, it's got Stephen Baldwin, who's great in Biodome. I want to watch Biodome and talk about it on this one because that's a smart film that doesn't get enough credit. It's like also one of the dumbest films that gets exactly the credit it deserves, but it's like a walking contradiction of a film because it's not. Yeah, shit. I got a whole thing on Biodome. Oh, I got some things. I also got theory. I got a conspiracy theory about the movie Half Baked. That's what I should do next. I've been smoking so much fucking weed lately. I should do Half Baked next. But now we're gonna do the Usual Suspects first because I want to show like that I actually do pay attention to films I don't like. I don't just like hop on my phone and fucking start texting or doing whatever. I do pay attention to this shit. I take filmmaking seriously, and like. Even though I just come on here and bitch for the most part about like what I don't like, oh that's stupid, it's fucking underwritten, it's gay, whatever. Like, I really do have a deep appreciation for this, what filmmaking is. I resent a lot of what's going on right now, and I think that a lot of places are just trying so desperately to pump anything with a fucking like anything that'll captivate people for more than like 30 minutes. Like they have to compete with YouTube, they have to compete with video games, they have to compete with all this other bullshit. And like now, I think it was Scorsese or someone compared Marvel movies to like roller coaster rides or amusement park rides. Oh fuck, I'll give it myself. I haven't done that yet tonight. Fucking dumb fuck. Amusement park rides. Yeah, like he compared like Marvel and like all these like cape shit fucking movies to amusement parks. Like, it's all they really are, and I agree. I fucking hate that shit, and I think it is a fucking black eye on the fucking industry, and like you could potentially make such better movies and you just like limit the release of them so that people are eager to see them, like back in the fucking day. But no, it's like we're gonna put an entire series out on Netflix and you're gonna sit on your underwear all day on your couch and eat ice cream and fucking shit your pants. It's like that's what happens, and I fucking don't like it. But anyway, I'm not gonna talk about things I don't like. I do take this shit seriously. I like that I get the ability to, I have access at least to like a million fucking movies, so I'll always have something to bitch about. But like I do like movies. I don't just not like them and just pick them apart. I just really like I strive for something that is like the movie Under the Silver Lake is the most recent movie in history, I think, that blew my mind. And everybody's like, oh, it's an incel movie. Oh, it's insensitive towards women. It's like, if that's what you took from that movie, you fucking watched it for the wrong reasons. Just like everybody that's saying, like, right now saying, like, oh, like, Taxi Driver, you're an incel. Like, no, that's a brilliant piece of filmmaking and a fucking stellar period piece and an awesome explanation of race relations in the US. And like, I don't even mean because of the searchers, even though that is really what it is. It's a very interesting snapshot of the 70s and kind of that 30-year cycle coming back around, although it would be more like the 50-year cycle, 40-year cycle, something like that right now. But anyway, like you got to understand, filmmaking is supposed to evoke something out of you other than boredom and resentment. And like, I mean, this film does it great. So without further fucking ado, I'm gonna bitch about The Usual Suspects. Right on. Okay. I'm not gonna rescind what I said about this film to begin with. It is a pretty stupid film. It's not as bad as I remember it, but it is pretty bad. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that this is one of my favorites. This is pretty far from my favorites. I did have a little help from my good pal Yussel while we were cleaning dishes today. I found out this is actually one of the films that me and him have both seen, and I told him how I studied it, and he's like, "Yeah, you should give it like another try. Don't be too hard on it. It's like it's just like kind of an early bait and switch." I guess is a good way of putting it. He's like, "Nah, like I like the twist." I was like, "Do you find it like to be full of itself, or do you find it to be like how do you like it?" And he just was like, "No, I liked it. I like how it comes together in the end. I think it's like well put." And I was like, "It doesn't bother you that it's like a little like, you know, theatrical?" And he's like, "No, I mean, it's a movie. It's supposed to have elements of that." Like, I don't know. He kind of talked me into liking it a little bit more than I was giving it credit for. But I don't know. It's just still kind of boring and pointless to me. I don't want to be too hard on it though, because I will say that there are some scenes of like pretty good acting. It's just like a little over dramatized for my liking. I would rather them not like maybe dial back like the theatrical elements a little bit, and like maybe punch up the characters. And like I have yet to say this yet, but like fuck, you could spend like it could slow down a little bit and like be maybe like another 5 to 10 minutes longer if you just like lingered with the characters a little bit more. Like 5 to 10 minutes is like adding that to a movie. I'm not saying that that's like an easy feat, and it's not like something you can do overnight. Like I think the running statistic was that for every second, or what is it? Every second, it's like $100,000 every second or something. It's like $100,000 every minute. Some shit like that. Where like every minute of film like averages like $100,000. Like television, it's like something like ludicrous as well, but it's not that much. Yeah, like fucking, they could have done a little bit more with it. I would have liked to see the characters pan out a little bit, and I mean, if I'm being completely honest, and this might just be film school me, like, was anybody actually surprised by the ending of this film? Or am I just like a complete total killjoy? Because, like, the second he sees Kevin Spacey, it's like, it's him. Like, there's this concept I've been introduced to called mugging, or like camera mugging. And I know his character is obviously supposed to be a cripple, and he's got like they all got these weird fucking names too. But like anyway, fucking, I mean, I don't know what one of those has to do with the other. I'm a fucking idiot. Give myself one of these right now. But yeah, it's like there's all these characters have their own distinct like you're supposed like they all have their own kind of like color, and so like Benicio del Toro's character is like kind of this like Cuban flair with like red, and then like what's the other guy, Stephen Baldwin's is like black and like leather and like shit like that. Like they all kind of have like their own distinct look and style, whereas like Kevin Spacey's character A is cripple, which draws your eye to it. B, he's kind of dressed indifferently, and he's like not, there's no like kind of uniformity to what he's wearing, which is like kind of intended to make him blend in, which I don't know if that's like supposed to be as heavy-handed as it comes off to me, but like I mean it's very fucking obvious. And I don't know, I saw the twist coming like so early on, and people are like, well, how are you not blown away by that? I'm like, because they give you like there's a trail of breadcrumbs, and then there's just literally hanging a loaf of bread from a goddamn fishing pole. It's there. It's not subtle. It's like it's so fucking obvious. But I mean, like I said, I'm gonna actually like not rescind, but I'm gonna come back on that a little bit, because like I could be the jaded asshole here. Like I don't. These might not be like context clues everybody sees, but like I could see how if you don't see that, this is a really cool movie, and like I do want to put a huge asterisk next to that, because like I gotta sometimes like I gotta turn my brain off and it just doesn't. It's like I overthink things. I understand. You overthink things, you end up being kind of resentful of them. So like if people enjoy this film, I'm not gonna talk too much shit on it. For when it was made, it looks really good. The special effects and the gunfights, like I mean, they're not perfect, but they're fun. Like I will give it that. Like the explosions are authentic. No CGI, which 1997 didn't really have the option of that. There's like a lot of practical effects, but like especially for an action movie that's more dialed back than you'd expect. Like is more of like a thriller than an action movie. It has elements of like a very good high end action movie, and I'm sure that the way they kind of got around doing a lot of it is doing it on a budget and kind of. One sec. I had to pick a shrimp barb out of my finger right there that finally decided to rear its ugly head out. Um, you could tell they were on a budget because like the big culmination of action is all kind of in like one setting, and then they revisit that setting a whole bunch. So I mean, you can kind of tell they're trying to get away with what they could. But I'm not saying that they like skimped on the budget here. Like they went to the nines. There's like some qualms I have about like nitpicky things, like I didn't like how because it's like so theatrical, or like at least it's like trying to be theatrical. They go to that like pagoda thing, and I'm like, yo, if you're gonna bring guns and like probably millions, I don't know how much heroin's worth. Like what a kilo of H costs, probably a couple like like 20, 30 grand, something like that. It looks like a couple of kilos. I don't know. It's probably like $100,000 worth of heroin. Like you're gonna bring that much liability? Like they're saying like $8 million or something. I don't think it was that much, but yeah, you're gonna bring that much liability to a public place, and then your adversaries are going to bring fucking Ruger Ranch fucking 223 rifles with them to in a convertible to a fucking public place, and like that's how like this is gonna go. Like, are you fucking stupid? Like that's not how that would work. This would be like conducted like if anything it was gonna be conducted anywhere in public, it would be like a parking garage, like an underground parking garage, like somewhere where somebody can't just see you from a mile, like a literal mile away. That's the point of like clandestine meetings. But whatever. I digress. There's like a couple like nitpicky things like that really bothered me, and they stuck out. But like I said, I was like trying to watch it through a different lens after being kind of told to chill a little bit. So I do see the benevolence of it. Like it's a potentially good movie. I'm running out of steam here. I don't really have much on this. Like I understand. Like I remember reading this in film school, or not reading in film school. Whatever I fucking did. Fucking Usual Suspects. It's just it's an alright movie. It's an adequate movie. I was gonna say it was like a 2. It's like more like a 4.5, 5. Oh yeah, 5 on a good day. Why the fuck not? It yeah. I don't know what else I got. I honestly I have a really good idea for the next film I'm gonna do, and I'm kind of like more excited about that because I just am like completely smitten on what I want to do next, the next one, and I just don't care about The Usual Suspects. It was fucking... Here, let me read you what it says on Netflix. Alright. A gruesome scene adorns a pier in San Pedro, south of Los Angeles. 27 dead bodies. A burned out ship smoldering in the harbor. An FBI agent assesses. Like, it makes it kind of seem like it's like trying to be a little more noir, but like it's got these like moments of levity and like all this other shit going on. Or I just found it to be muddled. But like I get that if you don't like understand the distinction, or you don't like care to look for the distinction of like when films like tried to blend several genres into one, like I get it. I don't know. I got nothing on this one. I really wanted to give you guys 30 good solid minutes of content, but this one just petered me out. Like, it's exact the most bogus twist, or not bogus, but like it's very predictable twist, and yeah, I don't know, didn't do it for me. Yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.